Okay, solve the system of equations. Here's the first one you got, example 1. Okay, you've got x plus 4y equals 9, and then you've got x equals y plus 4. Again, that's x plus 4y equals 9, x equals y plus 4. So you have to solve for x and y in the system. So do you have, if you make a wall on that side, are you going to have x or y by itself? No. Okay. If you make a wall on that side, you'd have x by itself. So that's your base variable. So I do have a base variable. So then I circled the other side, put a 1 in front of it. And then I write the equation that doesn't contain the base, which is x plus 4y equals 9. You're going to want to put a 1 in front of your x. Okay. And then the base variable is the one we take out. And in its place we put 1y plus 4. So we drop our 1, then we make our parentheses 1y plus 4. Then we put plus 4y equals 9. Okay, so we're going to solve for y first, because we got a y here and a y here. Well, we have to eliminate the parentheses first, so there's the plus, so 1 times 1y and 1 times 4. It's going to be 1y, and that's going to be 4. Okay, and then plus 4y equals 9, okay? So now I can solve for y. Remember, don't pull that move where you take out the smaller y. No, you need to add them. Add the y terms together. That's going to be 5y, and then plus 4. Okay, so now we got 5 times y plus 4 equals 9. So we get rid of our 4 by minusing 4. So that's 5. 5 times y equals 5. And then I divide each side by 5. And 5 divided by 5 is 1. Okay, so y equals 1. Now we need to solve for x. So I go back into the system. Well, it'd make more sense to me to use the equation where x is by itself. Okay, so y equals 1, so you parenthesize the y, you put 1. Okay, so that means we have 1 times 1 plus 4. Okay, well 1 times 1 is 1, so x is equal to 1 plus 4, and then 1 plus 4 is 5. Okay, so 5, 1. Okay, next problem, 8x minus 7y equals negative 3, and then we have 6x minus 5y equals negative 1. So do you see a base variable? If you made a wall on that side, would you have an x or a y by itself? No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't here either. So we're not going to use the base substitution method. We're going to use the elimination method. So that's where I line up the columns. And I add, but I don't want to, I need the x's or the y's to add to 0. 8 plus 6 ain't 0. Neither's negative 7, that is a negative 7. Plus negative 5, that's not 0 either. I don't care if you get 0 over there. So nothing adds to 0 right now. The x's don't, the y's don't. Do you have the same x term? No. No, so you're multiplying. So you got a 6 here and an 8 here. So you'll multiply the rest of this by 6 and the rest of this by 8. So 6 times 8x is 48x. And then 6 times negative 7y is negative 42y. And 6 times negative 3 is negative 18. Now on the bottom, you're going to have 48x once again. And then negative 5y times 8 is negative 40y. And negative 1 times 8 is negative 8. Now try this again. Okay, now this isn't going to add to 0, but if you make that a negative, it will. But then you have to make the rest of these opposites. Okay, so the opposite of negative 40 is positive 40, negative 8 is positive 8, and then I do my thing. Negative 42 plus 40 is negative 2y. Then we take negative 18 plus positive 8. But since 8's positive, we just go negative 18. You can't go like that, okay? You just put 1 plus when you're adding a positive. Negative 18 plus 8 is negative 10. Okay, so the 0x you take out. Then you divide each side by negative 2. So that equals 5. So y is 5. Okay, now to find x, I usually use the original top equation. So 8x plus negative 7y equals negative 3. So 5 is going in for y. Put a times dot. So we have to multiply negative 7 times 5. That's going to be negative 35. 8x plus negative 35 equals negative 3. Now you're going to add 35 to both sides. Negative 3 plus 35 is 32. And we'll divide by the 8, and 32 divided by 8 is 4. So 4 and 5. Okay. Now number 3. Actually, it's on here. At a play, $2,995 was collected from tickets. Student tickets cost $3 each, while adult tickets cost $5 each. There were 79 more adult tickets sold than student tickets. Find how many of each type of ticket were sold. So you're finding the adult tickets and the student tickets. Okay, we have 3 units, the dollars, the student, and the adult tickets. So 3 units you have to make your grid. You want to set this problem up to be solved. So you got together, how many units, per unit, it's dollars per unit, and then total, dollars total. Now you don't put a dollars on how many units because that's just counting them up. So you got student and adults. So what's total cost together, money total together? Well, it's probably $2,995. Okay, what's the only non-money amount you have? 79, but it says more after it. So when it says more, we put plus 79, but just not wherever, please, okay? You put plus 79 in for the adult tickets. Now, this means you're not going to need y, so don't put y anywhere, okay? Because you can have this be x plus, and this can just be x by itself. As far as what to put together, that's fine, just delete it. I mean, there's a way you could add those, but we don't need to. Okay, and we never need anything there, okay? And since we're not putting y, it doesn't matter what's there, we just need one equation, okay? So we're not even going to put y. So the student tickets cost $3 each, and the adult tickets cost $5 each. Now, x times 3, that's 3x. You need to put that in parentheses, okay? That has to go in parentheses. If you don't, you're going to screw it up. Because we got x plus 79 times 5. Put the 1 in front of the x and do your rainbows, okay? So it's going to be 5 times 1x times 79, that's 5x, and then 5 times 79 is 395. So So that's 5x, 395. Okay, now write that out. You're like, that's only one equation. You only need one, since you're not going to put y in the table, okay, which you never do with a more than amount with two unknowns. All you need is one. 3x plus 5x plus 395 equals 2,995. Okay, then you combine that's an x right there. So you combine your x's. Don't be pulling that get the smaller one out crap. Okay, that's 8x plus 395. Now, we got times 8 plus 395. So minus 395. That's going to be 2,600. And then you got 8 times x still. So you divide each side by 8. Okay, 2,600 divided by 8 gives me 325. Now, what do you do if that's the only equation you have? Well, you go up and cross out your x's, and the students are now 325. The adults, we take 325 plus 79. That's 404. Okay. Next problem. A library is having a book sale to raise money. Hardcover books cost $4 each and paperback books cost $2 each. A person spends $26 for 8 books. How many hardcover books and how many paperback books were purchased separately? So you want to know the hardcover books and the paperback books. Okay, so you got those two units, but then you also got the money, so you need the grid. So you got together, how many units per unit and total. Money total, money per unit, but don't put money there. And then you have hardcover and paperback. Or you can put H and P, doesn't matter. Okay, the money total together is $26. Okay, how many units? So to find how many units, you just look for the one number that doesn't have a dollar label. 8 books. It doesn't say more though. Okay, it just says 8 books. So that would be the together amount. So when I have the together, I need X and Y. So when I have to use two different variables, or you can use H and P, you're going to make your table, or not your table, your cross, because you'll need a system. Don't need that. Okay, cost per unit for the hardcovers is $4. Cost per unit for the paperbacks is $2. So we're going to find the money total for the hardcover, we take the X times the 4. That would be 4X. To find the paperback, we take the Y times the 2. That's 2Y. So these two are my equations. X plus Y equals 8, and then 4X plus 2Y equals 26. Those form a system. Okay, so you're going to use elimination with the columns. Nothing's going to add to 0 right now. Okay, so 4 you can times 4 and times 1. So times the rest set by 4. And the rest of this gets times by 1. So it's going to be 4x plus 4y equals 32. And then 4x plus 2 times 1 is 2. Then 26 times 1 is 26. So align your columns. and add. Now you want that to, you have the same thing here. Now to make two same terms add to 0, you make one of them negative. But then you got to go through and make the rest of that opposite. Negative, negative. So again, don't just take 4 plus 2. It's 4 plus negative 2 now. That's going to be 2y. 32 plus negative 26 is negative 6. So you can delete your 0x because 0 times any letter is 0. Wait a second, that's not negative 6, it's 6. 32 plus negative 26 is 6. And you divide each side by 2, and y equals 3. So you got 3 paperbacks. Now you got one of 2 options. If you found one of your answers and you have what it is together, you can just take 8 minus 3 and get your answer for x. Or if you really want to, you can write one of the equations down. Y equals 3. 1 times 3 is 3, so we have 1x plus 3 equals 8. Minus 3, that's 5. Then divide by 1. 5 divided by 1 is 5. Okay, hardcover books is 5, paperbacks is 3. Okay, then the last story problem. You buy 24, it should say spend. You spent $24.50 for 10 gallons of gas and 1 quart of oil at a gas station. Your friend pays $22 for 8 gallons of the same gas and 2 quarts of the same oil. How much does a single gallon of gas, how much does a single quart of oil cost? So gas per gallon, and those are right there, equals, then oil per quart equals. Okay, so you have 3 units. So you have together how many units per unit and total. So you got dollars total, dollars per unit, and then leave that empty. Okay, now you've got gallons of gas, just put gallons, and then quarts of oil, just put quarts, you'll know, so you can see what you have. Now, money total, there's 2 of them. You've got the $24.50 and the $22, so equals 24.50 equals 22. So if I'm putting 2 numbers in for total, then every other box is going to need 2 numbers. Okay, so the gallons, 10 gallons. Remember, on top is for numbers that aren't money. 1 quart of oil, 8 gallons, and 2 quarts. So 10 plus 1 is 11, 8 plus 2 is 10. Okay. Now, it doesn't appear, we don't have any more values, so for dollars per unit, you got to use variables. You can put G and G or X and X, doesn't matter. Quarts, you can put Q and Q or Y and Y. So 10 times X is, okay, let's show my work here. So 10 times X finds the money total for the first, or the dollars total for the gallons for the first guy, and then 8 times X for the second guy. If you want to put a 1, fine, but it's still 10X and 8X. Then 1 times Y and 2 times Y. So 2Y, or excuse me, 1Y and 2Y. And obviously you have 2 different letters, X and Y, so you're going to make a system. If you have 2 different letters, you need 2 equations, and they're already stacked together. So 10X plus 1Y equals 24.50, then 8X plus 2Y equals 22. Now you use your elimination method. Nothing's going to add to 0 now, and you don't have the same here or there, so you're timesing by 8 and by 10. So I multiply the rest of this by 8, and the rest of this by 10. So 8 times 10x is 80x. 8 times 1y is 8y. Then we'll take 8 times 24.50, that gives me 196. At the bottom, that's going to be 80x again. 2y times 10 is 20y. We take 22 times 10, and that's 220. So add. Now the only way that's going to make 0 is if that's a negative. Now it's 0, but then you got to make 20 opposite and 220 opposite. So you take 8 plus negative 20, that's negative 12y. Then you take 196 plus negative 220, that's negative 24. Delete your 0x. And divide each side by negative 12. And y equals 2. Okay. So 2, 2. So excuse me, that's your quarts. Quarts, 2. Okay, now let's find the gallons. Well, you don't have a together amount to take that minus 2, so you need to use one of the two equations. So 10x plus 1y equals 24.50. So 2 goes in for y, and 1 times 2 is 2. So you have 10x plus 2 equals 24.50. So you minus your 2, that's 22.50. And then you divide by 10. That finds your x, okay? $2.25, which is okay, $2.25.